In this unit, we are going to learn about the ethnic and the cultural diversity among the tribal people in India. The word ethnic, often also referred to as racial, that is the physical characteristics of the people among the tribals living in India. The background for the ethnic diversity is drawn from the three races of mankind, which are normally conventionally known as Caucasoid, Mongoloid and Negroid. Caucasoid, also for general parlance referred to as white race, Mongoloid as the yellow race, Negroid as the black race. We shall in today's lecture learn about the ethnic and cultural diversity prevailing among the tribal people in India. The word ethnic, often also referred to as racial, referring to the physical characteristics of the human beings. The idea of racial diversity comes from three broad categories in mankind identified racially. They are Caucasoid, also known as the white race, Mongoloid, known as the yellow race, and Negroid, known as the black race. Before trying to understand the racial diversity among the tribals in our country, it's better to know first how the background of the three races arrives on the scene at all in identifying the characteristics of people. America, Europe, Middle East, Northern Russia and Australia. If you have seen a person from any one of these countries, you would know how a white man, a Caucasoid race person looks like. Rather tall in stature, long and narrow nose and low curvy head hair, normally black but also golden brown. Mongoloid, if you have seen people from East, Northeastern Asia, including China, Japan and South Asia, you would know these people referred to as the yellow race, how they look like. They are rather broad faced and straight hair and somewhat broad nose, but most important are the eyebrows. Sometimes the eyebrows are so dominant in their face that it creates a kind of a portion of the eyebrows drooping over the eyes, also referred to as the epicanthus, towards the outer side of the eyes. You cannot miss a person from Africa, East and West Indies, referred to as the Negroid race. People rather tall in stature, broad nose, thick everted lips and pretty dark complexion. And very interesting feature on the head hair looks curly, frizzly and woolly, and sometimes it is so coiled, it is said it is called peppercorn. If you pull out one hair, it may run into several inches, but it sits on the head very compact, as if it is attached through a gum to the head. That is the unique feature of the Negroid race when it comes to head hair. Ethnic diversity among the tribals in India, drawn in the background of these three broad races of mankind, are Indo-Aryan. History shows that people came from the Middle East into India. They were known as the Vedic people, and there was a lot of intermixture that took place between these incoming people and the original inhabitants of the land. You would see the so-called Indo-Aryan ethnic diversity among the people from central India downwards towards parts of eastern India up to the northern part of the Vindhyas. Tibeto-Burman, as the name itself indicates, is the influence of people from Tibet and Burma, today's Myanmar, on the people of northeastern India. Naturally, the yellow race people, this variety we can see among the tribals in almost the whole part of the northeastern tribals in India. Dravidian, south of the Vindhyas. In fact, Dravidians even to this day are known as the most original racial stock so far as the Indian subcontinent is concerned. It covers almost all the four southern states in India, that is Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra and Kerala. Austroasiatic. Austroasiatic is a small pocket towards the southeastern parts of Tamil Nadu where there is an influence of incoming people from the Australian island. Andamanese, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, there is the first trace among the tribal communities in India of dark features. Andamanese and Nicobaris, the Onge, you would see them as very tall people, rather dark in complexion. Indo-Iranian. Indo-Iranian is the influence of the incoming people from the Middle East, very strong, can be seen among the people in the northern parts, particularly Jammu and Kashmir. We know many people who came invading India from the west, northwestern pass through the Khyber Pass. The first attack happened to be on Jammu and Kashmir area. So you will find the Indo-Iranian people very fair in complexion, tall in stature, very fine features of the physical part, particularly the facial features, can be seen among the Jammu and Kashmir people. Indo-European, if you remember from the history, the great Greek who wanted to rule over the world, Alexander the Great, came and lot of influence he had on the Indian people, particularly in the states of Rajasthan and Haryana. He came across the local monarchs who fought with him, sometimes very successfully, but opposed him. So, a lot of intermixture took place that they are referred to today as the Indo-European ethnic characteristic. We shall understand on the socio-cultural diversity. I don't think if you have seen the Republic Day parade or the Independence Day parade in our country, you would not miss the various dress habits of the people. The most famously known Kashmir ballet. In fact, Kashmir ballet is a very important item in the competitions of schools and colleges where a beautiful young woman, tall in stature, fair in complexion, totally bedecked in colorful dress. Kashmir is a name in itself for the beauty of especially the young girls. So, dress habits of Kashmir are so unique. Northeastern, in fact, the first tribal group that predominantly comes out from the northeast are the Naga people. The way they dress, particularly the men, almost dressed like warriors. The Manipuri girl, totally bedecked. In fact, the Manipuri dance, one can see in the fullest range of the beauty of the dressing habits of Manipuri people. Beals, which was also referred to earlier in a unit, they are known for ornamentation. Ornamentation does not mean only gold and silver. In fact, the ornamentation of the Bhil tribal people is totally made out of lacquer and beads, glass beads, whole variety all the way from the head dress down to the toe, whole variety of lacquer based bead necklaces and bead ornamentation for which Bhil's people are very well known. Coming down to central India, one can see the Maria Gonds and particularly the famously known Maria Bison horn dance. In fact, the way the man is dressed, completely dressed in a whole attire with ornamentation and particularly the headdress on the top of which there is a pair of bison horn looking up from his headdress. Bison horn Maria dance to the drum beating of the Maria music is one of the most uniquely known among the tribal festivals in India. Coming down to the western parts, Coorg. They are also known for certain dressing habits, although Coorg have become part of the non-tribal, but the original Coorgs have been actually a kind of a warrior race. So, therefore, particularly when a marriage takes place among the Coorgs, one can see the groom is dressed as a warrior, including riding on the horse with an open sword and with all the dresses looking like a crown prince. Such is the variety of dressing habits. In fact, as I referred to earlier, Republic Day parade and Independence Day parade in India is the best occasion for you to see the variety of dressing habits of the people, particularly among the tribals in India. Economy and implements. You will find that the implement used by the people depends on their way of life obviously. Food gatherers, we have earlier noted, do not have many implements at all. They have only the hoe, a digging implement for digging the edible roots. But yet hoe has different varieties. The length of the hoe, the length of the blade, the width of the blade, the angle of the blade, the length of the holding handle of the hoe, everything differs depending on the kind of roots that they are looking for in their effort for gathering their food. Hunters, there is a variety of hunters, but the bow and arrow seems to be the basic one. In fact, bheels in India from Rajasthan are almost the number one. They are the greatest archers in the tribal world, not only in India, but also throughout the world. But besides bow and arrow, there are other implements like sword, small knives, which they use for hunting. When it comes to bow and arrows, one can certainly remember the whole variety of bows and particularly arrows that the bheels use, and very particularly a variety of arrowheads that they use. Supplementing the economy. For supplementing the economy, many tribals use, besides the bheels of Rajasthan, the other tribal group very well known for hunting and particularly bow and arrow are the Santals of West Bengal. Many of these tribals do supplement their economy because whatever they have taken to as a way of life, as the mainstay of economy, may not always be sufficient, particularly all through the year. So, therefore, they supplement their economy through handicrafts. Many varieties we have already talked about that the tribal people make from the locally available material using their own skills and imaginative thinking, producing beautiful handicraft items which they always try to sell in the weekly market of nearby tribal area as well as the surrounding non-tribal rural areas, which means that these tribals have already gotten into a monetary kind of economy where they can sell their products to whoever is interested in buying, and with the little money they get, they can supplement their own other needs in addition to what their own economy is producing. Painting is another important enterprise of tribal people. In fact, there is no tribe known anywhere in the world, including India, where tribals do not get to some kind of painting or the other. In fact, there are certain tribals in India where they have the painted decorations on the front walls of their house, and merely by looking at the kind of painting, one will be able to say what is it that they are mainly specializing in, whether it is bow and arrow, whether it is the handicrafts, or whether it is fishing. By merely looking at the kind of painting in front of the house, one will be able to say what this family is trying to do for supplementing. Music and dance is another aspect which the people use in tribal areas to supplement their own livelihood income. Music and dance is something very unique for tribal life. In fact, the type of music, type of dance is what is very unique for any particular given tribe. That creates an entire tribal heritage. Tribal heritage includes, besides music, dance and the instrument that they are using for playing the music, most importantly the very theme of the music and dance and their own presentation of the heritage of their own tribe. In fact, many tribes derive a lot of pleasure in presenting through their music and dance the heritage to which they belong, the rich heritage which has run over generations and generations to come to the present stage, which, as I said earlier, is chosen and presented in parades at the national events.